Hi guys, it's Interesting Reviews here, and today we're going to be doing an unboxing and review of the 2020 iPad Pro, and we have the Magic Pen and Magic Keyboard. Let's get unboxing. Alright, so here we are guys, here we have the iPad Pro, the 2020, and today we're going to be doing a review and an unboxing of this. And now here what we have, this is the 12.9 inch with Wi-Fi and cellular data. So there also is an iPad Pro 11 inch, and the 11 inch is 1.04 pounds or 474 grams. And then the iPad Pro 11 inch and plus cellular models, that's still 1.04 pounds, but it's 473 grams. But today we have the 12.9 inch. So the 12.9 inch, this is 1.41 pounds and 641 grams. But since we have the cellular model, ours is going to be 1.42 pounds or 643 grams. Let's get unboxing. So also a few things that I wanted to talk about as well, and I'll be comparing the 11 inch and 12 inch. So first we'll start with the 12 inch. First we have the liquid retina display, which is amazing, and then also this has a LED backlight multi-touch display with an IPS technology, and this is also 2732 by 2048 pixel resolution at 264 pixels per square inch. And also this is ProMotion technology, and it's also a wide color display, and this also has a true tone display as well, and it also has fingerprint resistant coating, which is pretty nice. No one likes to get fingerprints everywhere. And it also is a fully laminated display. So what comes in the box is the standard, the USB-C with the USB cable standard that comes with. And then that's pretty much it in the box. And then you have your, of course, the manual here, standard stuff, and then also the stickers in here as well. Just the white stickers this time. And then, so this iPad has 600 nits brightness, and then 1.8% reflectivity. So, really nice. Here, okay, so now, there's not too much of a difference between the 11 and the 12.9. But there is a big difference according to the speakers, and I will be showing the difference. It's a much louder compared to the other one. So for me, speakers, I like to watch YouTube on my iPad, and I like to listen to loud music, so speakers is definitely a big aspect for me. So if you want louder speakers, I'd go with the 12.9 inch. Now also, the main question between, main question people ask about the iPad is it better than a laptop? But I think the real question is, does the Magic Keyboard make the iPad any better? So that's the question that I mainly think should be asked instead of is it better than a laptop? And I'll be going over that in a little, so this is the pen. Of course, it's magnetic. So, right here, like this. Alright, so also another few things that I wanted to talk about is the camera. So it's an ultra-wide 10MP, and it's 125 field of view, and it's a 2 times optical zoom out, and it's a digital zoom up to 5. So it is also 5-element lens, wide and ultra-wide, and it's a brighter true tone flash. And also it's a sapphire crystal lens cover, which is pretty cool. Now not only that, it's also a backside illumination sensor, which is pretty cool as well. And also it has autofocus with focus pixels wide, and then tap to focus with focus pixels. And then it also has a wide color capture for photos and live photos. And it also has nose reduction, exposure control, smart HDR for photos, and then auto image stabilization, burst mode, timer mode, photo geotagging, and image formats captured are HEIF and JPEG, which is pretty cool as well. So those are some of the features of the camera. And now also some of the features for the video recording. It is 4K video recording at 24 FPS, 30 FPS, or 60 FPS wide, or 60 FPS ultra wide, which is pretty amazing. And also, it's also 1080p HD video recording at 30 FPS or 60 FPS, and 720p HD video recording at 30 FPS. Now it also has brighter, true tone flash, slow-mo video support for 1080p at 120 FPS or 240 FPS. Now it also has a time-lapse video with stabilization. So that is also pretty cool. And it goes on just like that, which is pretty cool, which is amazing. So also, another thing that I wanted to talk about is there are some people who are gonna buy this and they're gonna put it in the case and it's never gonna come out of the case. So they're only gonna use it like this. And now the second type of person is the person who would use this to type something. Like say you're gonna go search something on Safari, you type something and then you take it out and you use it as a regular iPad again. So if you're someone who's gonna always keep it in like this and never take it out of the case, I'd say it would be better for you. Now also, if you're like me, sometimes when I'm typing in, I hate clicking on the keypad and trying to type, and so what I really love is the keyboard, because then it's just so much easier. And also when I want to write down notes or do everything, it's just so much easier and better. And that's the reason why I like this model better. Now also the power and battery. So with the iPad Pro 11-inch, it's a built-in 28.65 watt-hour rechargeable lithium polymer battery. And now also, all models are up to 10 hours of surfing the web on Wi-Fi or watching video, charging via adapter or USB-C to computer system. And then also the Wi-Fi plus cellular models is a little bit less. It's up to 9 hours of surfing on the web using cellular data. But the benefit is you get cellular data compared to the one without cellular data. Now for the iPad Pro 12.9-inch, it's a built-in 36.71 watt-hour rechargeable lithium polymer battery. So the difference is for the 11-inch, it's 28.65 watt. But compared to the iPad 12.9-inch, it's a 36.71. So I'd say that's a pretty big difference. Now, not only that, I'm going to set this up and I'm going to show you how this iPad works in a second when I have it all set up. We'll get back to you in a second. Alright, so here we have the iPad all set up, and now I'm going to show you how the speakers work. This is them on full volume.
Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. Oh, you're so caught in this, but so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. You're so caught in this, but so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall.
So as you can see, those are the speakers on full volume, and I'd say that is pretty loud. So I have the iPhone X here, and I'd say let's compare the speakers. Obviously it's an iPhone compared to an iPad, but let's just see the difference between the speakers.
Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me.
So as you can see, the phone is still pretty loud, I'm not gonna lie, but compared to the iPad, the speakers are just amazing. So that for me alone, because I love listening to music in the background while I play games, so the speakers alone are just amazing for me. And now we're going to talk about a few other features here in just a second. Alright guys, now let's talk about a few more augmented specs. I know we talked about some earlier, but we're going to talk about some more I didn't cover from before. Alright, so first things first, things get a little bit more interesting on the inside. Some features that remain the same are Apple's True Tone display and the ProMotion 120Hz display refresh rate that makes actions such as scrolling noticeably smoother than the other 9 iPad Pros. And that's a big thing for me, because when I'm scrolling through and trying to get to my apps, I need to get there as fast as possible. I hate it when it lags and it takes forever. So this is a big plus for me. Not only that, the display has an upper brightness limit of 600 nits, and the resolution for the 12.9-inch model remains at 2732 by 2048 pixels at 264 ppi, and the active battery life clocks in around 10 hours. Alright, not only that, all configurations now have a 6 gigabytes of RAM, but in 2016, for example, only the 1 terabyte model had that much, so that's an upgrade this year. Storage got a welcome boost for such a pricey product too, so the entry level starts at a roomier 128 gigabytes rather than 64 gigabytes. With the next three options remaining the same, at 256 gigabytes, 512 gigabytes, and 1 terabyte. There's also a new chip called the A12Z, which Apple likes to say that the iPad Pro is faster and more powerful than most Windows PC laptops, much as is said in the context of the A12X chip that came before it. As you can see in the benchmarks below, it's barely a boost at all in terms of CPU usage. I'll show you the graph now. Alright, but the A12Z chip pulls a bit ahead in graphical performance compared to the A12X because its GPU has 8 cores instead of 7. They're both powerful tablets, but if you already have the 2018 iPad Pro, they're pretty much the same, so there's no reason of upgrading for that, just for that reason, so you're going to be fine. Alright, not only that, let's talk about the upgrades and how it compares to a laptop. Alright, so these are the kinds of upgrades you'd expect to see in a device that's specifically aimed at people who'd like to use an iPad over a traditional laptop. And Apple hammered home that association with the release of the optional new Magic Keyboard case. Finally, we have an Apple-made keyboard case with a properly adjustable display, backlit keys, and wonder of wonders, a built-in trackpad. It makes the iPad work so much like a laptop, in fact that it actually makes the iPad more difficult to use with an Apple Pencil. It's great if pricey, but it is pricey. The 349 12-inch model costs more than the 10.2-inch iPad. Considering how much the Magic Keyboard is aimed at users who don't often take their iPads out of their cases, it's a little shocking that nothing sets this iPad Pro apart from its predecessor quite like the camera. So the main thing that does set it is the camera, but its new square bump camera recalls that of what we saw on the iPhone 11 Pro, but it boasts a few tricks of its own. Alright, we already went over the camera specs before, so now what we're going to go over is the bottom line. Alright, so this is the best iPad Apple has ever made, and perhaps like the new Magic Keyboard that makes Apple's tablet more appealing as a work machine, the fact remains though that unless you're heavily involved in video editing or professional artwork, most people will be served just fine with the $500 iPad Air. Although it currently doesn't come with that spiffy keyboard, if you do need the power of a Pro though, it's still worth considering getting the 2018 model on the low end. At least you'll almost certainly be able to find one for a lower price, and Apple's new Magic Keyboard is even compatible with it. As for iPad Pro AR capabilities, maybe Apple will surprise some mind-blowing new software at WWDC, but for now it's just a price peek at what Apple is rumored to have in the mind for future products. If you missed out on the 2018 iPad Pro, this year's model should come off as a more appealing purchase, and in that case the new camera capabilities come off as nice side perks as well. Just don't make that the main reason that you go buy one. Alright guys, that's interesting reviews, and this was this review. I hope you enjoyed. Honestly, what I would say is that this iPad is amazing. I love the speakers, I love how fast it is, and I would recommend that you get one if you don't already have one already. Thank you guys. Peace out.